So welcome to the second episode of CRAVE. CRAVE is the food delivery app we are building from scratch using FlutterFlow and then Supabase as our back end. So in this episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to design the UI manually. So the UI we import from the FlutterFlow designer. So I'm going to be guiding you through how to design the UI manually, or maybe the UI you import from FlutterFlow designer. There is some mess up in there and then you want to adjust those mess up, you want to make it unique, you want to make it more clean, more modern, more realistic. You don't want any like unrealistic padding, like all those some errors in the UI. You don't want them. You want to adjust it and make everything looks perfect. So that's what we are going to be doing in this particular episode. So this onboarding page on my screen right now, we are going to be working on the onboarding page. So you can see all the widgets tree. You can see the widget tree. You can see all the widgets in the widget tree. So the first thing we have is the icon. So the icon looks good, and then we have a container. So we can just adjust the padding of this container. The padding is 4, so we can increase it to 8. Pick up the icon and then increase the padding to 8. So we're going to drag an icon into the main container. So this container will be removed. We're going to replace it. Good. Now we have the text. So we can give it some space. Give it a little space of maybe 8. Space of 12. Yeah, good. So we are going to remove all these 3 container and then dragging this row into this top container and give it some padding at the top. Padding of maybe 32. Good. I don't think we need all this space. Now we can remove that. And then we have this onboarding step. So instead of this onboarding step, we can make use of maybe carousel or page view. So we can just click on this column and search for carousel. So you can make use of any of the two. So we are going to make use of carousel. The work of this carousel is to allow us to be able to scroll this. You can scroll it. You can scroll it as much as we can. Like if you want to input 3 onboarding step or 4, any numbers of the onboarding step you want to input. So once you make use of the carousel, you can be able to scroll it back and front. So you go into the onboarding step components, and then I'm going to copy it and then go back into my carousel. So I'm going to paste it in there. We can drag it to the top, and then we can give the carousel height of maybe 400 or 600. So after that, to give this full expand, if you can see the 3 carousel we have in there is not fully expand. It doesn't contain the whole page. So for it to contain the whole page, click on the parent carousel, and then you will see viewpoint fraction. So the viewpoint fraction, change it to 1. So once you change it to 1, it's going to contain the full screen. Then you go to the parent carousel, you can see the full screen now. Yeah, beautiful. So we can adjust some widget there. We have the image, we have the text, and then also we can enable the autoplay. So it's going to play automatically, and then we can reduce the duration to maybe 2 seconds, and then it's going to play within 800 milliseconds. So the width of this, we can bind it based on the conditional builder of the carousel. We can make use of this way, so that we are going to wrap this in a conditional builder. So you can click on the widget inside the conditional builder to copy it and then paste it in the S of the conditional builder. So click the S container, and then the field color should be secondary text. The field color should be alternate. Select the alternate and then the width. You can reduce the width to 8, or you can give it 12, and then the height will be 12. Yeah, beautiful. So what is the conditional builder is going to do? We can give it is we can define the condition so that whereby every single condition we can say the carousel. We're going to go to the widget state and then carousel index. If the carousel index is 0, if the carousel index is 0, you want to see this. Yes, you want to see this. So that's how it works. So we can now duplicate it, and then duplicate it as well, make it 0. So we can remove this and then remove this. So click on the second and then make the carousel index, change it to 1. Change it to 1 and then go to the third one and then change it to 2. So confirm it. So what we just did here is that whenever this carousel swipe, initially we have 3 widgets in the carousel. So the initial carousel is, you can say the initial carousel is 1. So since we have 3, so normally the first carousel, the index is 0. So the second one is 1, and then the third one is 2. Like the index, the first one is 0, the second one is 1, the third one is 2. If you add another one, so the index of the another one is going to be 3. You get. So the moment the first carousel is in the first index, which is index is 0, so that's when we are going to be seeing this as highlighted, like the primary color. So the moment it swipe to the second carousel, which is the index 1, then we are going to be seeing the container showing that it is in index 2. So that's how it works. So now we are going to wrap the carousel into a column, wrap it into a column, and then we can remove this row, we can cut it and then paste it into the column so that it's going to appear in all the carousel swipe. It's not going to be bind into one carousel. So that's how it works. So we are going to change this image because this image is expecting dynamic image. We're going to remove it, and then for this we're going to remove it so that this error can live there, and then for this we're going to remove the subtitle. Good. So we don't need this much space, so we are going to adjust by reducing the height to maybe 500. 500 is too much, we can give it maybe like 520. So let's give it 500. So after we give it 500, then we can adjust the spacing of the column to 24 or 18. So this indicator, we can give it some padding of 12. Good, and then we can delete this onboarding step since we have replaced it with a carousel now. So the next thing, we have the button, and then we have the button text that's going to navigate you to sign a page in case you have accounts already. So I can delete this and then duplicate this button, duplicate this text, and then change the text to sign in. So the text color is going to be primary, and then I'm going to increase the boldness to semi-bold. So that's going to navigate us to our sign-in page, and then so I'm going to delete all these containers since we do not need it. So I'm going to expand this button, but I'll rather use another bigger button. So I will add the button here and then drag it to the top, and I'm going to delete the previous button that's there. So this button, I can just give it full width, and then the height can be maybe 45. So the height, I can give the height maybe 50. Yeah, 50 is not bad, and then the border radius 16. 16 is not bad as well. So let's change it to light mode and see how it looks like. If we change it to light mode, we do see this doesn't look really good. So you are going to change it. And then for this icon, you can change the color to maybe something like, so on primary. So good. Now for this widget, I'm going to add another row. Yeah, I'm going to add another row. So inside the row, that's when I will input all this. I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to add this as well. So I'm going to add the last one, and then I'm going to delete the stack. Delete it, and then give this an expansion. So beautiful. I think our UI is now more beautiful. So, and then about the carousel, we can go back to our carousel, and then we have the carousel here. So we have another carousel here, we have another carousel here. So we can duplicate the first widget we have in the carousel and paste it in the second carousel. And also paste it in the third carousel. So you can change the content in there, and then you can change all the food. So let's go to the home page and then copy one of the image we have here, and then make use of it in the onboarding page. So go back to the onboarding page, and then go to the second carousel, select the image. So you can replace the image part. Beautiful. And you return to the home page for more image. So you can, let's pick this image, copy it. So go back to the onboarding page, and then go to the carousel, the third carousel, and then image, change this image part to the image you just copied, paste it in there. So good. Now here's our first carousel, the second carousel, and then the third carousel. You can see everything now. Also, you can change the text as well. You can change everything the way you want. So that's that for the onboarding page. So let's go to the home page and design the home page as well. So instead of the home page, I think we should work on the authentication page first because after the onboarding page, we have to head to the authentication page before the home page. So let's work on the authentication page first. So here is the authentication page. From the beginning, we have some two text here. We have the heading text, and then we have the subheading text. Also, we have the icon. You can change the to icon color to on primary. So the container is not bad. So we have it in a column. Beautiful. That's good. So we can just drag in the column to the top since we do not need all this container. Drag to the top, and then we can delete this container. So we can give the column a padding from the top, maybe padding of 24 or 36. Yeah, good. 36 is not bad actually. So here we have the sign in tab, and then we have the alt tab, which is the sign in tab, and then the create account tab. So instead of this, we are going to make use of page view here. So you can tap on the column and then search for page view widgets. Page view. So there's page view. That's where we are going to sign in and then sign up. So you can just drag in our page view into this column, and then we have three page view here. We only need two. So we can delete one. So now we have two page view there. So now this is the sign in tab. We can drag it into the first page view tab. So yeah, this is the sign in tab. Drag it into the first page view tab. So you can copy it and paste it into the first page view tab. So good. So you can also paste it into the, okay, you can delete it now. So instead of this tab, we can replace it. We can just go to the restaurant. We have a beautiful tab here we can make use of. So I'm going to copy the tab, and then I will go back to my auth verification. I'll go back to my auth verification. So I'm going to paste it in there, and then I will drag it to the top. I'm going to drag it to the top and leave it there. So good. Now we have new beautiful tab. We can change the text to sign in. This is going to be sign in, and then the other one is going to be create accounts. And copy it and then give it create account tab. Beautiful. So I'm going to delete that one. Now we have two tab left. So I'll give it some padding. Of, I can give it 24 here, and then so I'm going to give it 24 in this side. So after that, let's create our own text feed component. So I'll go into this text feed column, and then I'm going to add a text feed there. So I will do some adjustments. The width is going to be infinity, and then I'm going to give it content padding. So content padding of 24 or 20. 20 is okay. I'll give it border radius. So the border radius will be 16. 16 is not bad. So now I'll drag in this text feed into this. Then I'll convert it into a component. So this is going to be, so I can give it a main text feed. That's our main text feed. So this name is going to be from the page parameter. So I'll add some parameters. So the first parameters is going to be title. The title is going to be text, and then I will add a label. So the label is going to be text as well. So I'm going to add an icon. So the icon is going to be the icon, and then so I'm going to save it. So for the text, so the focus border is going to be the primary, and then the color is going to be, so I can give it primary and then adjust it maybe 28 or 30. So good. So for the title, I'm going to give it title here, and so I'll give it title or email. So for the text feed, I'm going to give it, so the icon property is going to be from the page parameter, and then the icon. So I can add default image of maybe email. Yeah. So the next thing is the label. So the label is going to be, so I can give it int. So the int is going to be from the label. So I can call this label. So after that, I can delete the previous text feed as there. So from there, I can go back to my authentication, and then now here's our new text feed. So let me give it for some spacing. So the spacing of, I think spacing of 12. 12 is not bad. So for the title, I can give it email. Email for the label, I can give it enter your email. So for the icon, I can just give it email icon, input this. Beautiful. Now I'm going to duplicate the text field. So the height, let's increase the height. So the height should be 400. Good. Now for the other text field, so the title, I'm going to give it password, and then this I'm going to enter your password. So lock icon. So that's that for our password, and then I'm going to delete the text field. Beautiful. So for this, I'm going to add a text in there. So add a text. This text is going to be forget password. So I'm going to change the text color to the primary, and then give it some boldness of semi-bold. Add a question mark to it. And then alignment to the right. So I'm going to delete this. So give it some padding of 12. Good. So I'll copy all the text field and then go to create account tab and then add it there. So here I'll go to duplicate the password text field and then call this confirm password. So this is going to be confirm password, and then this is going to be confirm your password. So I'm going to delete this because we don't need to forget password in sign up, and this I want to create accounts. So for the page view, I can allow swiping. Good. So the height, the page view height, I'm going to reduce it again to maybe 300. 300 is so indicator. I'm going to remove that, or we can increase it maybe 330. So after that, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete that, and then so this I'm going to give this 24 padding all through. Yeah, beautiful. I'll go back to my onboarding page and copy the button we used there. So I'm going to use it in the auth verification page. So I'll paste in the button. So I'm going to copy the button text and then paste it in there. So this is going to be sign in. So cut it and then go into the sign in tab of the page view. So I'm going to paste this inside the sign in tab of the page view. Good. So I'll delete this. So I'll leave the text and then this social button, so we can continue with Google or continue with Apple also for the verification. So that's that for the onboarding page. So that's that for the authentication page. That's how you design, that's how you make some changes into your app. So I believe you've learned new thing now, so you can able to undo your projects manually and edit it manually without stress with what you've learned now. Don't forget, if you need help with your app, send message to the email on your screen right now. Maybe you are building an app, you are stuck while building, or you want to build from scratch, contact the email on your screen right now for help. Maybe you need a custom code, custom widgets, custom function, anything you need about your app, send message to the email on your screen right now, and then you will get response immediately.